Alright, so welcome back. In today's video, we're going to look at what we call inline elements and block level elements. Right, so all HTML elements have what we call a default display value. Right, so if I'm to look at this A element, it has got a default display value. So how do I check its default display value? Is this an inline element or a block level element? The easiest way to check these elements, the default display value for these elements, is you go to your developer tools. So I'm going to open these developer tools one more time. And so by the way I opened this web page, I'm displaying these two on one screen. Okay, so I have my text editor, and then I have my browser on the right side. And so you can right click anywhere here and you go down and say open with live server, and then you will have your web page running in the browser. And so I have mine running in the browser currently. And so when I get to the browser, which is on the right side, I can right click on the browser in the browser and I can inspect this particular page, and hopefully my developer tools show up down here. By the way, you can change the orientation of these developer tools. You can come up here on these three dots, click on these three dots, and then you can change the dock side. Okay, so mine currently is this one. Yeah, it's docked onto the bottom of this particular page. All right, so what I want to do is I want to check on the elements. Okay, so I'll click on this elements tab, and then I'm going to expand this so that we can see what is going on. All right, so I said I want to check this anchor element or the link element over here, and so I want to see is it a block level element or is it an inline element. Okay, so if I hover over, this is this particular anchor element. So if I hover over, as you guys can see in the browser up here, you can notice that the only part that is highlighted is the part with the text. Okay, it's not highlighting the whole width, and so this tells me that this is an inline element. It's only going to occupy the necessary width, and so that's the behavior of an inline element. Okay, so let's look at the H2. Let's look at this behavior. What kind of display or what type of display is this by default? And if I hover over, you guys can see what happens. It highlights the whole width, okay, of this particular window. And this tells me that this is a block level element. And so what is the difference between this block level and inline element? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply create another H2 here, and you guys can see for yourselves. And so if I create another H2 element over here and I say another H2, I want you to notice the behavior of a block level element. So if I save this, you can actually see that this moves on to the next line. Okay, it doesn't move next to this heading over here, even though I might want to move it to this one, just next to this particular first heading. The H2 heading is still occupying the next line, and so that's the behavior of block level elements. Block level elements will occupy the whole width, and then the other element will have to be moved to the next line. So let's see this anchor element, the A tag. So the A element, the link element, you guys can see this is just occupying enough width for this particular element. And so what happens when we add another anchor element? So this is what I'm going to do on the next line. I'm going to create another anchor element here, and obviously I'm going to say .baidu.com here, and so I'm going to say click me to go to Baidu. Okay, so if I am to save this, I have saved this. You can see the link shows up here, and so this tells me this is an inline element, because even though we have another element here, this is still placed on the same line. Okay, so this tells me that this occupies enough space to leave space for other elements to be placed next to it. And so this is the behavior of what we call an inline element. And so if I'm to hover over the second link, I have the second link over here with the Baidu.com. You guys can see how much width is occupied by that particular element. And same with the first element, which is that Bing.com link. You can actually see how much width is occupied by that element. And so this is the behavior of what we call inline elements. All right, so that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like. If you have any comments, you can always leave them in the comment section. I really want to thank you for your support. I'll see you in our next lesson. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.